أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. This is a response to the video, my most difficult video, about a brother who is having some concern about the hadith, the punishment in hellfire and Islam in general. So first of all, I want you to understand, my brother, that any collection of hadith, any book of hadith is not the word of God. It's just the work of a scholar who is trying to help us to understand a true narration of hadith from the weak one, to separate them. So, as we know, no human being work is perfect. They are scholars, they did their best, but they are just human beings. So if you find a weak hadith in a collection of hadiths, it doesn't mean that Islam is false. It just means that this scholar made a mistake about this particular hadith. So, to respond to your question, how to distinguish a true from a false hadith, the rule is very simple. It's the Quran. Any hadith which contradicts the Quran must be rejected. The Quran is right here, the hadith is second. So any hadith which contradicts the Quran, you cannot take it. It's like a federal law and the state law. Any state law which contradicts the federal law, which is a constitutional law, you cannot take it. So a second thing I want you to understand is, first of all, when you read any hadith, you have to keep in mind, like, who is the first person to who this hadith is destined first. The message, who is the first to receive it. So talking about your hadith, in which they say if the man came first, the baby gonna be a boy, and if the woman came first, the baby gonna be a girl. You need to be open mind, and try to understand, which is the simple way of the Prophet, for the Prophet ﷺ, to explain to this Bedouin guy, how the baby sex is determined. Because if he start talking to him about a chromosome XY, he's not going to understand. So for him, the simple way is to say, if the man who is X, Y came first, the baby gonna be a boy, because it's gonna be XY. But if the woman who is X, because X represents the woman, if X came first, then the baby gonna be XX and gonna be a boy, a girl, sorry. So, just, try to understand, because the Quran states clearly that men have both. So man is the one who gonna bring both. But XY, is according to which, one came first. If either is X, which is woman, or Y, which is man. Okay. So now, why people, will be in hell forever if, God is merciful? So first thing you need to know about hellfire is that hell is a place people are gonna be, to pay for the sin, to be washed for the sin. So according to the amount of your sin, you're gonna be for different period of time. Some people gonna be there for 1 day, some for 1 month, some for 1 year, some for 100 years. But what is clear is that the hadith say one day will come that anybody who have an atom weight of faith will be taken out from hell and put in paradise. So actually, very few people are going to be in hell forever. But those people, why those people are going to be forever? It's because of the type of sin they made. Because God not gonna punish everybody, for the same type of sin. Some sin, God say He's not gonna forgive them. So to give you an example, suppose you have a friend, and one day you find your friend with your wife. You're not gonna say, this guy is my friend. He was just having fun for 5 minutes with my wife. No, you're gonna divorce this friend forever. You're not gonna have no business with him because he betrayed you. So some acts you cannot forgive them. But the same friend, if he steal you $5 or he borrow your car, he have some accident or something like that, it's okay, it's fine. You are friend. But when somebody betray you, like this type, you cannot be with him, because there is no more trust between you and him. So it's the same thing. Even our justice, sometimes for some crime, the higher is the crime, the higher is the punishment. For some crime, people will be in hell for 200 years, for 300 years. You see? So why we don't say like to do this crime, he just took him 2 or 3 minutes? No, he gonna be for 300. Sometimes the capital punishment. So the third thing is we need to know, like the same thing is true for both cases. Paradise too. Why people are gonna be in paradise forever? You see, you don't deserve paradise. You cannot worship God enough to deserve paradise, but it's just a reward. Like your degree, if you succeed to school, the same thing like study which take you 1 or 2 years, you're gonna benefit from it your whole life. So it's just to give you some comparison. It's not always the case. It's just to give you an image. Okay, so about the logic, you're right. When something is logic doesn't mean it's true. But when too many things goes together, you see, Islamic is logic, it's rational, it's science, history, morality, you see, politics, philosophy, economic, all those stuff, the behavior of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, all those stuff when they come together in one thing, this thing need to be true. Because you can find like 1 or 2 elements from here or in this religion or another one. But when all those stuff came together in one, then it's really solid. And another thing is, before I finish, the question you need to ask yourself, as Shakespeare say, to be or not, that is the question. The big question you need to ask yourself is, does God exist? Just look around, use your mind. Does God exist? If yes, which religion is more likely to be the way of God? You see, ask yourself those questions. Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, one day he was the king of whole Arabia, but still he was you know taking out the garbage. He was living on the floor. You see, that's not human behavior. You see, I was watching on the news. Michelle Obama was saying before her husband was taking out the garbage, but now he cannot do it. He stopped doing it. So he's even not president yet, but now he feels like he's big enough. So that's just how human beings are. But Prophet Muhammad, he was king. He was ruling the whole Arabia, but still he was doing the same thing. He was wearing, all clothes. Sometimes they don't have food in his house. You see, that's not human behavior. So I hope that this video will help you, and assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May God bless you and everybody. Bye.